Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Running Tales podcast. This is where we tell the extraordinary stories of everyday runners. My name's Craig Lewis, and my wife Michelle and I, we've been producing this podcast since the old dark days of COVID, many years ago, it seems now, back when many non-runners found the sport was about the only activity they were allowed to do, and a lot of them became really quite invested in it. Now, since then on this podcast, we've spoken to some incredible athletes, from those running their first 5K to multi-day endurance athletes. We've chatted to runners who've overcome everything from addiction or depression to illness, such as cystic fibrosis, spina bifida, and Parkinson's. And along the way, we've even spoken to a few big names in the sport, the likes of Born to Run author Christopher McDougall, the South African running legend Bruce Fordyce, and Commonwealth Games medalist Liz Yelling. So check out our back catalogue to listen to some of those episodes. Now, what all those people have had in common is a deep love of running, and it's what we hopefully have here at Running Tales too. We've grown as a channel to be able to tell all those people's stories in written form as well on our Substack channel, runningtales.substack.com, and we produce our own videos on YouTube. So, folks, welcome to our community. There might just be a little bit more to it than you think. And if you want to know that bit more, check out all the links in our show notes. But for now, we have another fantastic guest today in the form of Will Anderson. He's the man behind £10 Parkrun, a new project which raises money for charity by harnessing the power of the weekly 5K with some dubious running kit. I'll let him tell you about how it all works. So while Will's new project is currently slowing him down somewhat, we should say that there's no getting away from the fact he doesn't mess around when it comes to parkrun, with his current PB being, well, for me at least, quite mind-boggling 15 minutes and 17 seconds. I can't wait to find out how much what sort of time he's managed to do with the different clothes he wears these days. Anyway, as I said, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. I hope you are too. So without further ado, let's welcome Will to the Running Tales podcast. Hi, Will. How you doing?
Thanks, Craig. That was perfect intro. Yeah, I'm really good. Really good. Thanks for having me on.
Great stuff. No, you're more than welcome. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And I guess the best place to start for those people who maybe don't know about it, haven't seen the Instagram channel, tell people what £10 Parkrun is and what it's all about.
Yeah, sure. You summed it up quite well. It's a, shall I say, movement channel, way of life, whatever you want to describe it as. It's just a way of raising money through something that a lot of people do every week anyway. So it's call it a challenge, I suppose, is you have a £10 budget. You go into any charity shop of your choice with that £10 budget, and you find an outfit or a costume, if you will, for that week's parkrun. You can, not the shoes. That's the first thing to highlight. I'm not. Don't go spending £10 on a pair of shoes and injuring yourself. But yeah, there's some good things to be found for £10. So it's £10 budget. Run it at the parkrun, and the beautiful thing is you can donate it back, so that the loop is somewhat endless, I suppose.
Yeah. So how did you come up with this idea in the first place?
You know, I wish there was a moment where I can say, "Oh, I remember having this brilliant idea." Maybe I couldn't pinpoint when it happened. At some point, it drifted into my head. Um, I always go charity shopping. I've always enjoyed it. My wardrobe's full of weird stuff I've picked up from charity shops over the years, and I'm always running. So I suppose at some point, subconsciously, my mind has put the two things together. But the more I thought about it, it just makes sense. Like, even if just I do it forever, I'm not saying I'm going to hit every single parkrun every single week, but it's £10 a week, which goes somewhere. But if you do the quick maths, like, there's, even if a few people do it every week, it soon adds up. The tally can fly up pretty quick. And it just seemed like a good idea. It seemed like something to. I'd always wanted to do some kind of putting my running out there. I feel like I'm doing so much of it, it's worth telling someone about it. But yeah, there's a lot of people putting running on social media, so maybe I just thought it was something a bit different that might turn some heads, and it seems to be working so far.
Yeah, what I love about it, aside from the sort of fun element, which obviously we'll get into, is that just by taking part, you we'll instantly be giving the money to the charity shop, the £10 if you spend your maximum allowance. We'll automatically go out there and it'll go to different charities every week. And unlike some of the other challenges you might have to do, and obviously I'm not knocking fundraising, but say you enter an event, you have to go away and you have to get out somebody else to give you money to sponsor you to do something. This is just go out, hand your money over, get something a little bit potentially silly, unless you can find an amazing running kit in the charity store, and you're instantly helping, and then you can go out and have a laugh.
Exactly. It's the power of community without you having to go out and ask people for the money. Exactly as you've put it there. It's on your back. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. So hopefully it reaches a point where there's enough people doing it that I can sometimes take a step back. Still feel a bit guilty. I missed this week's parkrun. I still feel a bit guilty, but someone took up the reins, so it's all good.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it now? Because I know it's fairly new, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the first episode I did was maybe April this year. So
Mm.
still call it its infancy for now, yeah. So and we've raised £510 as of this parkrun that's just been on Saturday.
Yeah, and we were just sort of chatting in what I ridiculously call the green room, which is basically where we chat before I press the record button. But how these things can really grow, can't they? And the potential is that you get, if you suddenly had, say, even 50 people, which is a tiny microcosm of parkrun, that's a huge amount of money every week to start raising, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose that's the motivation that keeps me doing it. Like you never know, and like some people think they know how that algorithm works. I think a lot of it's luck. But if
Yeah,
sometimes I'll post a video that does pretty well, and then the next week, like, I think we had the most I've had is 12 in a week, and to me that was a mind blowing number. But like you say, in the world of running, it's still a tiny amount. We're barely like scratching the surface, and that's £120 in 1 week. Job done. Just
yeah.
from a park run that people were going to run anyway. I suppose is the is the beauty of it.
Yeah, and were those 12 people the people who've done it generally? Is that are you kind of still at the friends and family stage, or have you just attracted people who you never know who are suddenly
You know
doing it
what?
somewhere else?
It's it's not as many friends and family as I thought it'd
Oh,
be.
really?
I've got loads of friends who are messaging me like, "Oh, it's such a cool idea." Man. I was like, yeah. So when are you doing it?
Yeah, yeah,
um, I've had some help from my old club back in Scarborough, where I'm from. So Scarborough Athletic Club helped me 1 week. But no, I've had people. I've had a guy in Australia pick it up
oh, wow.
somehow. We had Finland a couple of weeks ago. A few dotted around London. There's all sorts of places that I won't list them all because I'll forget people. But yeah, it seems to be spreading. It's not all friends and family, which is nice. It would be nice if they did.
Yeah, come on, Will's friends and family.
Yeah,
You need
yeah.
to get doing this as well. Um, Talk us through some of the outfits you've had so far, because they sort of go from the sublime to the ridiculous, don't they?
Yeah, I never intended it to be stupid outfits, and then just I found myself having fun with the charity shop element. So, and it seems to do better as well. People have a laugh at my expense. That's fine. So I think the first episode I did was a suit that I found, like a two piece suit for £9. That's Scarborough charity shops for you. You can find some. It's tough down in London finding stuff, but it can be done.
Yeah.
I was on a hobby horse in Battersea a couple of weeks ago. We've had some leopard print. We've had sequins. Yeah, I had like a Whitney Houston vest that I found. There's all manner of shapes and sizes. It doesn't always fit is the other challenge I'm getting at the moment, but hey, it's
I'm sure I remember seeing you in a jumper one week as well, which in the weather at
yeah,
the moment is just probably
that
the
was
toughest challenge.
that was rough. Yeah, Stretford Park Run in Manchester. Yeah, Tom and Jerry jumper that was, and wool
Yeah.
trousers to match. So sometimes I used to be a bit more strict with. I would go to one charity shop and one charity shop only, and let you find what you find. But yeah, that's how I ended up in a jumper and trousers. There were no shorts. There wasn't anything suitable, so I ended up in that. I've given myself a bit of leniency now because I'm saturating my local charity shop.
When you're doing this, because we'll get onto your own running, and that I mentioned in the intro there you do some pretty good times. How much harder does it make it to have to run in some of these outfits?
Yeah, more so than I thought it would. I remember. So one of the early ideas one of my friends gave me was you should do a video of how fast you can run. You know, when you're in your kit, your club kit, club
Yeah.
colours, and then compare it with. And I was like, I don't think it'll be that much of a difference. It is. It's quite. It's quite. Um, I suppose I never do park run in carbon shoes. That's a bit of a sort of a thing of mine. But so I suppose the shoes will play some effect. But yeah, just the heat and yeah, you just feel you feel that heat in different ways that you normally wouldn't. I suppose it is tough.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And what sort of reaction have you had from other people? Because parkrun, it's not unusual at parkrun to rock up, and maybe there's some people knocking around in various weird outfits for whatever reason that week, charity thing themselves, or just because they fancied it, or they're doing a milestone. But it is slightly more unusual to see people doing that where you're running towards the front of the pack. And then I don't know if I saw someone in woolen trousers and a jumper, I might expect them to be coming home in 35 minutes, and you're doing it in 16. It must be people must be like, "What is he doing?"
No, I've never really thought about it like that. I did have comments on some of my early videos about maybe people might find it insulting and stuff, but that's not how it's been received. Everyone's been either super inquisitive or super nice. You know, in London, people tend to just stick to themselves at back.
That's true.
Everyone's in their own little bubble. No one even. Yeah, I was on a like I say, I had a unicorn hobby horse at Battersea Parkrun the other week, and nobody said a word to me. So it's just, um, I don't think people are bothered. There's that many runners in London that you never know who's going to be there at parkrun. So there's I've been at parkruns in London where people are running sort of low 14s and stuff. So you never know what's going to rock up, but. No, everyone's been friendly and inquisitive, asking me what the deal. A lot of people seem to think it's a forfeit or a stag do or something, but
Right.
it seems to be the common question. For the first time the other week at Battersea, uh, one of the guys said, "Is this a forfeit or is it that £10 challenge thing?" And I was like, "That's me.
Oh,
I am
that's
not
amazing. Yeah.
challenged." So that was a nice feeling.
Yeah, I could definitely. We did Battersea not so long ago, and I could see how sort of nobody would pay any attention to anyone else.
It's a strange one. Is that it's so enormous, but like
Mm.
so many people just know it's a fast course and just sort of really dial in for Battersea. But it is a great one.
Yeah. So I mentioned you've got a PB. What was it? 15:17. So obviously pretty quick. What is
Yeah.
your what have you managed to clock up in the more dubious running gear?
So I've only had one sub 16 in the dubious gear. So I've had a 15:48, I want to say. 15:48 in it was like swimming trunks and a Whitney Houston vest. So a somewhat forgiving, it wasn't as restricting or
Yeah.
as much as a burden of some of the outfits, but it was still tough though. Swimming trunks aren't the comfiest. That sort of mesh lining ain't great after a couple of K.
A
But yeah,
fair amount of chafing that maybe we don't want to go into too much.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, a lot of it's just how you're feeling on the day as well. I'm not sort of prepping for park runs. I'm not eating properly the night before or doing my prep in the morning drills and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I can't blame all the time reduction on the outfit, but it is hard doing it.
Yeah, I've done it and I've done part run in various bits of fancy dress at the my much slower speed. And it does make a difference and you just sort of get halfway around, you're like, I really don't want to do the rest of this. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
even there's times like, particularly in this weather, where you'll put a t-shirt on rather than a vest, and you're like, "Oh, I'm regretting this." So
Yeah.
it's like that times 100. But
Definitely. So what have you got coming up? Where can people maybe come and join you in the next few part runs or obviously they can do their own anywhere.
yeah, that is the main beauty of it. I'm trying to sort of spread it as far and wide. My next ones, where am I? I'm in Manchester this coming weekend. Maybe Alexandra Park Run. That's a nice fast flat one. And then it's usually I live in Brixton, South London, so it could be Dulwich, Battersea, those ones. Brockwell, that's unbelievably hilly. For those of you who know Brockwell Park, it's a brutal park run. But I will usually put on my Instagram story. I'm going to this one if anyone wants to join me. Yeah, so sometimes I'll miss a week as well. I do apologise, but yeah.
Well, we mentioned the Instagram a couple of times, haven't we? Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so it's just Instagram and TikTok. I'm not on anything else, and it's just at £10 parkrun, £10 spelt POUND
Yeah.
parkrun. Particularly important thing, I suppose, to mention on the Instagram, there is a Linktree link, and you can click it, and you can tell me about it, whether you've done a £10 parkrun. You can submit a photo, tell me where it was, what charity it was, and that sort of pulls it onto a nice little Excel sheet that I have, so I can keep track of. That's how I know we're at £510 because people log it on there for me.
Yeah, and I guess with this sort of thing, the idea is, or the hope is, that people will start posting their own pictures and stories on their own Instagram pages and so on.
Exactly that. Yeah, it's a real nice feeling for me. So Saturday afternoon, I tend to get bloody blah as mentioned you in a story, and it's just some ridiculous outfit somewhere. It's a it's a nice warm feeling getting those.
What's the craziest outfit you've seen someone else in so far?
We had I've had a girl in like a Snow White costume. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
Dressed as a pig as well. She's done it twice, once as a pig and once as Snow White. That was pretty cool.
that's two very different outfits, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. That's like you like the best ones. I find the best way of doing it is if you buy it for a friend and they buy it for you.
Okay.
Tends to be the best. You can stitch people up. Is that yeah? So we've had some unitards that shouldn't have been on display. So, yeah, there's been some good ones.
There's always an obsession when it comes to running from people to just suddenly put people in Borat outfits, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just it's a British thing, I suppose.
I think so. I think so. Um, I just want to talk a bit about your own running as well, really, because you don't generally get into running around in swimming trunks or a suit or big woolen jumpers unless you absolutely love running, and you don't run 15, 17 unless you're pretty good at it. So tell us a little bit about your own sort of running career, if I can put it that way.
I've always been quite good at it, I suppose. Never took it too seriously, sort of through my teenage years, just like the classic, you do cross country so you can get out of school early a few days, that kind of stuff. But was always pretty handy. I was quite good at cross country. Like I'm up north, that's quite a big scene, so I
Yeah.
was into that. And then just completely stopped for many years and was rowing for I couldn't even say how many years. Let's say I don't know. Let's call it 8, but I wouldn't. Don't take my word for it. And then all it was 2024. I used to work for Schneider Electric, who sponsor the Paris Marathon,
Okay.
and they put a thing on like the internal website that there's free entry for the Paris Marathon. A few people from the factory I worked at were doing it, so I was like, yeah, I used to run. I could probably with a training block do it. I'd never done a marathon before, and then just stopped rowing, stopped everything, just fell back in love with it big time. But doing it properly rather than I had no idea about anything in my teenage years. I just like go out the door with your shoes on, run really fast until something hurts, and then take take weeks off. The
Yeah.
classic. But yeah, with a bit more structure, I was enjoying, and just that there's so much more information online now. It's just everyone's a running expert, which is dangerous, but at the same time, there's some useful advice out there, and that got me back into it. Still to this day, the only marathon I've done. It's not my bag personally. That marathons suck, but uh, yeah, I've said to myself, if I get into London, I will do London, but I have no intention of doing any other marathon. It's not my that's not my thing.
Do you think that was just the distance, or do you think that was because you didn't enjoy Paris? And the reason I asked that is because, sorry to any French listeners, but so my wife Michelle did Paris and I went along, and it just, I mean, look, Paris is a beautiful city. No one's saying it's not, but I didn't think it was the greatest marathon in just how it was organized, and they ran out of water when Michelle did it, and it
Oh,
just,
really?
yeah,
Yeah,
it just didn't work very well as a marathon. Like I've been to London and watched that. I haven't done it either, but it just seems so much more bigger and better organized. And obviously, watch New York on the TV, and that's the same thing.
yeah. I mean, I've obviously only done one, so I don't have much to compare it to. But it didn't run out of water or anything like that. The course was just a bit rough.
Yeah.
I remember reading the forums beforehand and someone saying that there's a park in the last third and that's where all the demons are. And they weren't wrong. It was just horrible. I was
Yeah.
oh God, I never want to see that park again. But I think it's the distance. it's just not my cup of tea. I'm sure in a few years I'll get into it, or I'll if I get a spot at London, I'll do it. So on that, that's my at the moment I'm in like a half marathon block with the aim of getting a championship time for London. You can do your half marathon times to get into London now. I don't know if you used to
Oh,
be able to
okay.
do that.
No,
So if you can run 71:30, you can get in the. So there's a few of us from our club all on the same sort of mission. But
mm.
yeah, from Paris 2024, just nothing spectacular. Just make sure you've got a race signed up, and then just do a little training block towards that. I've not done anything out of the ordinary. I wouldn't say just yeah, everyday club runner.
Well, it's interesting you say that, though, like an everyday club runner, because is that how you see yourself? Because those times you obviously said you knew you were quickish at school. Those times you're knocking out there are pretty quick times, but equally as you say, you can go to some park runs in London and they are running 14 something. So it's this fun. It's all comparative thing. So I run in a park run in around about somewhere between 20 and a half and 22 and a half, something like that. So for me, you're stupidly fast, but obviously for you, you're looking at somebody else and going, "That's so much faster than me," I suppose.
Yeah, there's always a bigger fish, isn't there? I think that's the most important thing I've found as well. I moved to London last year, so that's quite a big sort of thing I omitted there. So I was always at, at Scarborough Athletic Club, and then
Hmm.
not no issues with Scarborough Athletic Club at all. Amazing club, amazing people, but the standard when I moved here was a humbling and b just so useful in terms of just you're getting absolutely smashed every week by people that are so much better than you, and but at the same time, you suddenly without you don't realize that you're getting better, and then you realize that I'm not getting dropped anymore, or I'm in the A group rather than the B group now, or I'm not the guy clinging onto the back anymore, and
Yeah.
that's all it is, just training with people that are faster than you. And moving to London was a huge part of that, and also a huge part of starting the whole £10 parkrun thing. I think I was just a bit embarrassed to do it in the town I'd grown up in.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who I am. It's like, what are you doing on your little Instagram? Whereas in London, you can sort of do what you want.
Well, you're not allowed to take part in London unless you're doing some sort of Instagram thing, are you?
Exactly, exactly.
Do you think kind of your background and the way you've got into running and the fact that even though you're running pretty quick times, there's people who's faster, mean that you have kind of helped you embrace the fun side of it? Because you do get at some events I've been to, there's people who will run the speed you do or faster or a bit slower, and they're like this focused, and you see them in their kit, and they will definitely wear carbons every race, and the thought of turning up in a jumper would never pass their
Yeah.
minds.
I'm a big believer that there's room for both. I take my running very seriously, and I also have a great time doing it. That I don't think it needs to be as one or the other.
Yeah,
I'm I'm 28 and in London, and I'm enjoying that. I'm frequent pub goer. I like going out, meeting people, going to gigs, whatnot. But yeah, that doesn't mean you can't take it seriously as well. I do. So Tuesdays is my big like. I know that's going to be a tough day. I sort of focus in for that. That's like club training nights. I know I'm
yeah.
going to push myself on Saturday. I do a tough session, and then Sunday's a long run. But you can still do all of that and have fun with it. Do dress up in a silly costume. Use the social side. There's some really good social run clubs in London as well. So yeah, you can do both. Is my point on that.
No, I completely agree, really. I think that, sometimes people take themselves a little bit too seriously, and unless you're actually going to go and do this thing competitively and make some money out of it, it's just like
Yeah,
enjoy it.
there's a time for both because that taking it seriously lets you have that gives you that sort of feeling. When you do get a PB, it's a great feeling, isn't it? And
Sure.
you need some serious time to get into that PB zone and mindset. But yeah, like for Friday night under the lights, for example, in Battersea Park, that's where my PB is, and I took that very very seriously. And but as soon as that race was over, yep, pub and then holiday the next day. So there's time for
Yeah,
both.
yeah. No, I completely agree, and I think there's it's kind of like I suppose different ways of taking things seriously. You can be really serious about your running or whatever you're doing, but I guess what I'm saying is you can be really serious and not be a dick about it.
Yeah, exactly
Some
that.
people seem to fail that.
Yeah, and other people don't find it cool or interesting how seriously
Yeah.
they're taking it. That's the like, yeah, it's not like, yeah, you don't have this cool, intimidating aura about you. Take it seriously. No one cares. So,
Yeah, yeah. So half marathon's your main thing at the moment. Is that your distance?
I wouldn't say so. 5K, 10K, it's
Yeah,
probably my bread and butter. I love a 10 mile, but you very rarely get the chance to do it. So I did the Greater Manchester half and just got the pacing all wrong. So that's why I'm having to do another one basically. So I should have, like, I was in the right shape to get this London qualification ticked off, done and dusted, and I just messed it up on the day.
yeah.
So unfortunately, I have to sign off for another. But, no, I've only ever done one half, and I've only ever done one full, so I wouldn't say it's my distance by all means. I was definitely caught out by the half at Manchester, humbled completely. You know, most Sundays I run at least 20, sometimes like pushing towards 30. So I was like, yeah, I'll blast through this. No, didn't. Wheels fell off big time, but humbled.
Oh, so able to have another crack at it. That's always
Yes,
that's always good.
lessons learned. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So looking at the 5 and 10 Ks, you're obviously doing these park runs, but presumably you're doing a lot of actual races as well on top of that.
Yeah, so quite a few things booked in. Friday Night Under the Lights, if people have been to that or watched the streams on YouTube and stuff, is just the best 5K you're gonna get around these parts. Just absolutely awesome. The field's so fast. It's almost like you're destined for a PB at that course. Um, so yeah, the 5K is a focus, the 10K is a focus, but I'm doing it all in the midst of a block. Yeah, so the Saturdays, yeah, I am going to have to sacrifice a few £10 park runs for the Saturday sessions at the moment. Just
Yeah.
the guys who are in this half marathon block with me do their big session on a Saturday. So every now and then I'm going to have to drop the £10 park run or do it as part of a like a double day or something. But yeah, so
Yeah, it's not too easy to incorporate it into your longer run with a quick change into
yeah,
your
that's
silly outfit.
£10 park runs. With great power comes great responsibility. I'm going to have to sacrifice it a few weeks, but
Well, hopefully the idea, I'm sure, is to get the movement going, and like you said, this week there's somebody to step into the breach for you and do that as well.
exactly that. I always do a sort of plea post if I'm not doing it. I'll be like, I need you guys to take the reins here. So yeah, if one person does it, I'm fine. Like one person a week for will just make me happy endlessly.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like it's mainly road racing that you're doing now. You sort of mentioned about doing cross country, I think, when you were younger. Is cross country out of the window now, or is that something you'd look at doing again
Now we
too?
do the my club does the Surrey League, so I was in that last year. There's another league as well. I'm new to this how the leagues are divided down here, but yeah, I'll do that. Did a bit of fell racing up in the north. There's not so many fells in Brixton, but
No.
yeah, those guys are crazy, man. I'm quite good at going uphill. I think I'm quite powerful for the weight that I carry, but it's just those guys on the downhill are insane, man. I just don't just disregard for their own life. Yeah, fell runners are just built different. So I'll stick to the road for now.
Yeah, I mean, I've not done proper fell running, but I've done a couple of events. The most crazy one being something called the Dovedale Dash, where you just start on this hill that goes straight down like that, and half the field falls over and rolls down the hill in the mud.
Like
Then
the
you got to
cheese
wade
rolls.
across the river, and but the guys and girls at the front, they're just like mountain goats, just hopping from stone to stone. I'm like, I don't know how you're staying up, let alone running that fast.
Yeah, it's just the downhill. I don't know if it's a technique thing or a confidence thing, or you just have to have something missing that means I don't care what happens to me. But I was just thinking about just some silly fell race that yeah might be take me out of the running game for 6 months. For just go down this
Yeah,
hill run. So
that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
hats off to the man. Those guys, yeah, they're crazy.
It's like that mad cheese race that you see every year where somebody just basically jumps off a cliff and goes is named the winner.
Yeah, the glory. Yeah, the cheese roll.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So what's your kind of your your regime in terms of like when you have got that serious running head on, are you concentrating a lot on nutrition and strength training and all that stuff as well these days?
I am terrible for strength training. I'll always do my core stuff because I've had back problems in the past from rowing, and do strength in the core sort of fixed it. So I'm always a bit conscious about doing that. But if there's anything I miss from my routine, like the first excuse I'll have is to not do my, not do my strength and conditioning. I'll very rarely miss a run, but I will quite often miss the strength and conditioning. I'm not someone to take advice from on that. Yeah, I know I should be doing it. I'm just a little bit useless.
Oh no, there'll be lots of people watching this getting all excited, thinking, "Look, we don't have to do our strength training, and we can still run 15 something."
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I'm not advocating for that.
No. Is it lots of speed sessions, hill sessions, all that kind of stuff?
How do I break it up? I mean, I hate to say it. I just have at the moment just an AI generated plan that I'm sticking to, but I'm seeing if that works. Speed stuff. I train with Belgrave Harriers in London on Tuesdays.
Hmm.
Those guys are fast. Like it's insanely fast. It's I don't know. They send in what the session is the week before, and you just go do it. But that's all at sort of between 305, 315 per K sort of pace. So that's like, I suppose, my speed work. Then there's thresholdy stuff with the same guys, and Sunday long run. I'm not rewriting any formulas here. I'm just doing the basics. I don't have any particularly nutrition plan. I drink a shed load of chocolate milk, and that seems to be what. Yeah.
I actually think that's the speed session, long run, and another run during the week, or maybe another couple of runs during the week. It does tend, I think it just tends to work for 90% of people, if not everybody, really, to be honest. It is that simple. There's a lot of plans out there, there's a lot of ideas of crazy things that you have to do, but if you do those things, you're not going to go too far wrong.
Yeah, and it adds into the taking it too seriously, like you said
Mm.
previously. Yeah, just those are the kind of things that get on top of you. I feel like getting out the door and running is quite enjoyable, but
Yeah.
constantly food prepping and doing all the bits and bobs that come along with that's the bit that gets people down, I think. So just, I don't know, have a bit of light and shade. You can do both.
Yeah. That's it. When you think about running generally and you're getting back into running, what is it that has kind of gripped you about the sport and made you go, yeah, I really love running and I'm going to do a lot of it now?
um, I think it's always nice to be sort of inspired by people, like human stories, and there are so many like freakishly good runners all of a sudden. Like, well, there always has been, but now there's obviously more of a spotlight on running. It's everywhere. Like, obviously, with me having the £10 parkrun channel, my Instagram is just running now. That's basically all I get. But it's just, yeah, I like how it makes me feel. It might not be a positive, but I like comparing myself to other people or seeing like, sometimes you look at the times that some people are dropping, and it's just ridiculous. And that, like we said, there's always a bigger fish, and people might say sort of 15, 17 where I am is ridiculous. It there's some crazy people out there. It pales in significance to some of these guys at the top, and not even the guys at the top. There's just there'll be someone in Battersea Park right now just cruising around at 250 per K, and
Yeah.
that's the bit that I like. There's just always something to be inspired by, I suppose.
There's one, I can't remember which part run it is, but I think there's one, isn't there, where they try and get as many fast runners as possible down there, and they had like the top 50 or something were all clocking like you were getting like 15:30 and finishing in 35th or something
Yeah,
mad.
I'm
I
not
can't remember
sure.
which one it is.
Not sure. Bushy's always busy. Is that the OG park run? Is Bush Park?
Yeah, Bushy was the first one. It wasn't at Bushy, but I'm sure there's plenty of fast
Yeah,
people there as
I
well.
remember my first ever park run in London was at Battersea, and I ran like a 16:10 or something, and came like 28th. And I
Yeah.
looked, and the lad that won was like 14:55 or something like that, so just under the 15-minute barrier. And I checked on the website, and he was like under 16s. I was like, oh, there's some crazy people down here.
Yeah,
But
it's a
yeah,
fast one, isn't it? Battersea's a fast one, though, I think.
a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. £10 park run as well. I am thinking about. I might give people maybe like a month or 2 months notice and say this day is going to be global £10 parkrun day, and if I was going to do that, I think Battersea's the place to do it. There's so many
Yeah.
people. It's if you go down to Battersea Park on a Saturday, Sunday morning, it's all the people you see on Instagram are there doing their stuff. So there's always cameras and eyes in Battersea Park. So I think that's the place to do it.
Yeah, no, it would definitely get some attention there. Michelle and I ran around there as shall I say, slightly older people, and we were looking around, going, "My God, everybody else here seems to have like a an influencer channel, and they're wearing their vests and their gym kit and looking super fit."
Yeah, it's the place to be. It just seems to be the running influencer hub of London.
Yeah. Do you think, like, obviously £10 park run is very new, and we're looking for it to take off, but is this the kind of thing that you would look to do, find different challenges and build different things on top of? And I hesitate to like use the influencer term about what you're doing as well, but it's just the thing that people say, isn't it? You sort of see people do build themselves a thing by doing these challenges, and it turns into something quite big sometimes.
Yeah, I suppose I imagine most of those influencers never thought they were until suddenly you realize you are, when you don't
Yeah.
realize you've got 60,000 people following you on Instagram. I'd love for it to do that. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to. There's a fellow called Iron Bods on Instagram. He does weird things with parkrun as well. Not doesn't raise £10 every week, just saying, but he's like, he did it with like a three-legged race the other day, and he's done it in a suit and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there's ideas out there. At the moment, I'm just trying to get as many people doing it as I can and see how much money we can raise. Yeah, I'm blown away by the fact we hit 500 the other week. Yeah, so I suppose see how quick we can get to 1,000. I keep jokingly saying on my Instagram, like, next target's 1 billion, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. So just remind people, just to finish off, once again, how can they get involved? How simple is it to do, and how can they let you know as well, so that you can make sure
Yeah.
everything's properly recorded?
So yeah, I'm super. First thing to know is I'm super proactive. If you've done it, I'll get you, because I'm constantly checking my messages. But so it's £10 budget. You go to a charity shop of your choice. You buy the top and the bottoms of any whatever accessories you find. Do not buy the shoes within that budget. If you spend £8, just tell them to round it up to £10 is how I go about doing it, because that way I know that £10 has gone into those charity shops.
Yeah.
Then go to whatever parkrun you wish to do, take some photos or a little video clip of you running in your silly outfit, and then just you can either message me on Instagram, you can message me on TikTok, or there's a link tree on my Instagram. Tell me who you are, where you got your outfit from, so I can keep a track of which charities we're raising money for, and I will add up all the £10. All you need to do is get the outfit, run the parkrun, and tell me about it. They're the 3 steps, I suppose, to £10 parkrun.
Fab. And we've got, I think, about 40 minutes, and we haven't mentioned the slogan, because there is a slogan. Give us the slogan, Will.
Yeah, it's £10 gear and a good idea.
There we go. So that's it, folks. £10 gear and a good idea.
I'm not media trained, so
We'll make sure we put that all everywhere as well. Good luck with it all. I think it's a fantastic scheme. I'm sure Michelle and I will get involved at some point as well.
yeah,
Get the £10 in there. That'd be yeah, and get the family and friends involved. They need to pull their weight.
That's the main thing. Yeah, shout out the family and friends.
That's it. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's
Yeah,
been great
likewise,
to
lovely
chat.
meeting you, mate.
Good luck with it all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for Will Anderson to joining me on tonight's Running Tales podcast. It was an absolute pleasure to chat to him about his running and about £10 Park Run. Folks, please go and give it a go. It's a fantastic scheme. All you have to do is go and give £10 of your hard-earned cash to one of the wonderful charity shops around. Grab whatever amazing outfit you can get hold of. I think the weirder the better. You can maybe get a proper one and still do a good time, but I think something horrendous like a giant dinosaur for $9.99 and see what time you can get in there. Let Will know. Keep building this community, because I think it's fantastic, and it's a nice, easy way to get money out to a lot of different charities. So yeah, thank you again for joining me on the Running Tales podcast. podcast this week, please check out our Substack channel, www.runningtales.substack.com, where you can read written versions of these podcasts. We're on YouTube, Running Tales on YouTube. We're on Instagram. Check us out there. Have a little look at the back catalogue as well. Check out some of those previous stories. And if you're feeling really inspired, perhaps go to our Buy Me a Coffee page and chuck a couple of pounds our way. But first of all, chuck them towards £10 park run. Folks, thank you so much. And we'll be back soon with another episode of the Running Tales podcast.